The babirusa, also known as the deer pig, is one of the most unique and lesser-known animals native to the Indonesian islands of Sulawesi, Togian, Sula, and Buru. This wild pig stands out due to its strange, almost prehistoric appearance, and it's easily recognizable because of the long, curving tusks that grow from its upper jaw. These tusks, especially prominent in males, can grow so dramatically that they curve backward, sometimes even piercing the animal's own skull if they aren't worn down. This unusual feature, which serves more for display than actual function, has fascinated scientists and locals alike for centuries. The babirusa's name, which means pig deer in the local Malay language, reflects its distinct look that resembles a blend between a wild boar and a deer. This species is part of the pig family, Suidae, but its unique evolutionary path has resulted in various physical traits that set it apart from other members of the pig family, giving it a mythical quality. One of the babirusa's most defining characteristics is its tusks. In males, these tusks grow upward through the snout, rather than downward like in other wild pigs, giving them an almost weapon-like appearance. However, these tusks don't actually serve much practical purpose in terms of fighting or foraging. Instead, they are primarily for display and may act as a visual deterrent to other males in conflicts over mates. Males sometimes engage in fights, but unlike many other tusked animals, they don't actually use their upper tusks in combat. Instead, they rely on their lower tusks. These upper tusks are relatively fragile and would likely break if used aggressively. The tusks are often cited as a classic example of sexual selection, with females presumably favoring males with larger or more impressive tusks. However, this feature comes with a unique risk for the babirusa, as the tusks can sometimes grow so long that they actually curve back and penetrate the skull, potentially injuring or even killing the animal. Babirusas are not just fascinating for their tusks, they also have a unique social structure and behavior. They are relatively solitary creatures compared to other wild pig species, though they can sometimes be seen in small groups, particularly females and their young. Males tend to be more solitary, with some defending territories that they mark with their scent to warn off other males. Despite their somewhat fearsome appearance, babirusas are generally peaceful and prefer to avoid conflict when possible. They communicate through a range of vocalizations, including grunts, snorts, and squeals, as well as visual signals and scent markings. Their social organization is somewhat loose, and while they do not live in large herds, they occasionally gather near water sources or in areas rich with food. Babirusas are omnivores and feed on a variety of plant materials, fruits, leaves, and small animals, but they have a distinct feeding behavior that sets them apart from other pigs. Unlike other wild pigs that root in the ground for food, babirusas do not dig with their snouts. Instead, they use their powerful limbs and sharp hooves to scratch at the ground or strip bark from trees to access food. This behavior likely developed due to their unique snout and tusk structure, which makes typical rooting behaviors difficult or uncomfortable. In addition to plant matter, babirusas sometimes consume insects, small vertebrates, and even carrion when it is available. Their diet is highly adaptable to their environment, and they play a vital role in the ecosystem by helping to disperse seeds and maintain the balance of plant life in their habitat. The babirusa has an unusual body structure compared to other pigs, with long legs that give it a more deer-like stance. Its skin is coarse and sparse, with a wrinkled appearance and generally thin coat of hair. This minimal fur covering is well suited to its tropical habitat, helping it stay cool in the humid and warm environment of the Indonesian islands. The babirusa is known to frequent water sources and will wallow in mud to cool off, much like other pigs, though it doesn't wallow as frequently as some of its relatives. This species is also known to be a good swimmer, which is an essential skill on the islands it inhabits, as it sometimes needs to cross rivers or flooded areas to find food or avoid predators. Despite its fascinating characteristics, The babirusa is unfortunately listed as a vulnerable species, with some subspecies even categorized as endangered. Habitat loss due to deforestation and human expansion is one of the biggest threats to their survival. Logging, agriculture, and palm oil plantations have destroyed large areas of their natural habitat, leaving fragmented populations that struggle to find enough resources to sustain themselves. In addition to habitat loss, babirusas are also hunted by humans for their meat and tusks. Although they are protected under Indonesian law, enforcement of these laws is often challenging, and illegal hunting still occurs. The meat of the babirusa is considered a delicacy in some regions, and its tusks are sometimes collected as trophies or used in traditional medicine, despite there being no scientific basis for their medicinal value. Conservation efforts for the babirusa have increased in recent years, with several protected areas established on the islands where they live. Organizations are working to educate local communities about the importance of preserving the babirusa and the unique biodiversity of the Indonesian forests. Researchers and conservationists are also studying the babirusa's behavior, reproductive habits, and ecological needs to better understand how to protect this species. Breeding programs in zoos around the world have been somewhat successful, though babirusas tend to have low reproductive rates, which adds to the challenge of increasing their population numbers. In the wild, female babirusas usually give birth to 1 or 2 piglets per litter, which is relatively low compared to other pig species. These piglets are well developed at birth, able to stand and move almost immediately, which helps them survive in the wild. The mother will nurse her young for a few months, and they stay close to her for protection and guidance until they are mature enough to fend for themselves. The babirusa holds a special place in the cultural heritage of the Indonesian islands, where it has been revered, hunted, and mythologized for centuries. Its unusual appearance has inspired myths and legends, with local folklore sometimes describing the babirusa as a magical or supernatural creature. In certain cultures, the babirusa is associated with strength and resilience, and its tusks are sometimes used in ceremonial rituals. In some areas, people believe that the babirusa's unique physical traits are the result of a curse or blessing, adding to its mystique. This cultural significance has both helped and hindered conservation efforts, as it means that some communities feel a connection to the animal, but others continue to hunt it despite legal protections. The babirusa's evolutionary path is also a subject of scientific interest, as it provides insights into the adaptive processes that can produce such unique traits. The babirusa's separation from other pigs millions of years ago led to distinct genetic and physiological differences, resulting in a creature that resembles a combination of several animals yet belongs to the pig family. Studying the babirusa's unique adaptations could help scientists better understand evolutionary processes in isolated ecosystems, such as the islands of Indonesia, where geographic isolation often leads to unique species development. The babirusa's presence also highlights the rich biodiversity found in Indonesia's forests, which are home to many rare and endangered species. Protecting the babirusa means preserving an entire ecosystem that supports countless forms of life, from plants to insects to larger mammals. In summary, the babirusa is a remarkable and enigmatic animal with an array of unique features and adaptations that make it one of the most interesting members of the pig family. Its iconic tusks, deer-like legs, solitary behavior, and specialized feeding habits set it apart from other wild pigs and have made it an object of fascination for centuries. While the babirusa faces numerous threats due to habitat loss and hunting, ongoing conservation efforts provide hope that this fascinating species will continue to thrive in the wild. Protecting the babirusa is essential not only for preserving the species itself but also for maintaining the rich biodiversity of Indonesia's ecosystems. As people learn more about the babirusa and appreciate its unique role in the natural world, there is potential for greater support in ensuring its survival for future generations. The babirusa serves as a reminder of the diversity and resilience of life on our planet, demonstrating how creatures can adapt in surprising and unusual ways to fit their environment. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.